What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today, we're going to be starting out our weapon week with the Subjunctive SMG, which is an arc primary weapon there. So it is a good little alternative for the Ikelos SMG. Have some pretty solid perks for both PvP as well as PvE. We'll give it an overall rating as well at the end. Plus, we're going to go over its origin trait for you right here inside of all of these weapons. The new origin trait on these newly reprised Undying Weapons is Nano-Munitions. Being near allies slowly builds up a partial emergency ammo refill for the next time this weapon runs out of ammo. Emergency ammo increases with this time spent near allies, so it's basically like an overflow mechanism. When you run out of ammo, it'll give you that many back, whatever it may be. It's on a little timer on the left-hand side of your screen. Definitely a nice little aspect of all of these Undying Weapons. So starting us off in the PvE realm for this Subjunctive, like I said, a nice little alternative to the Ikelos. For me, I went with range inside of the Masterwork. You could go with stability if you want, because it is a 900 RPM, so it's gonna bounce a little bit, but I do like the extra little bit of range that this gives us. For the first column for our barrel, I personally went with small bore here. Gives us that range and stability. Like I said, with this being a 900 RPM, has pretty decent reload and handling already, so I wanted to try to max out range and stability the most. In the second column here for magazine, I personally again went with tactical mag. Gives us a little bit of increase to stability, reload speed, and gives us that 37 in the mag. Other ones you could choose extended or appended, but all appended does is give us some negatives to that stability and reload, with only giving us one more in the magazine, and extended totally tanks our reload by 20 and you only get about 4 more. Moving on to the third column, our first option, which I personally went with, is subsistence. So defeating those targets partially refills the magazine from reserves with an increased amount of ammo. Very nice for that PvP, or I should say PvE realm, especially when we pair it with me. I like Volt Shot in the next, but you will see in a second why. Next on the list is stats for all. Hitting 3 separate targets increases handling, stability, reload, and range for a nice improved duration. Also pairs very nice with Volt Shot in the fourth column, which will be my #1 choice, just like for me subsistence was in this third column. On to the fourth column, like I said, Volt Shot going to be my #1 option. Reloading this weapon after defeating a target overcharges this weapon for an improved short time, causing it to jolt its next target. So very good with that ad clear potential. Like I said, you can hit those separate targets with stats for all, or use subsistence to just continuously get a couple defeats, use that reload, and then just wipe through targets again after that jolt hits. Next for me in the fourth column, we have One for All. Hitting 3 separate targets increases damage for an improved duration. This pairs perfectly with subsistence because of hitting those 3 separate targets. If you get those defeats, you'll get your ammo back, as well as stats for all, because if you hit those 3 separate targets, you get all of those increased to range, stability, handling, and reload. So it is also a very good perk for the PvE realm. Overall, I think I would give this about a 3.8 out of 5 for the PvE realm. It is not as good as the Ikelos, but very close. Ikelos is just very good, especially inside of the Arc Synergy realm in the PvE content. When we move on to the PvP side of things, this thing definitely slaps pretty hard. I think I would give it even a little bit higher rating than I did in PvE. So again, I'm going with range though in the Masterwork, so we can really slap those Guardians out at a little bit farther distance. If you're having trouble controlling the 900 RPM, go with stability in this slot. First column, again for me, I went with small bore personally in this column for the range and stability. You could also go with like Corkscrew or Hammer Forge, both very good in this, totally depending on, like I said, with your ability to control that bounce with the stability at the 900 RPM. Next off in the second column with the magazine, going with accurized rounds, gives us that increased range, stacking us up to 53 on that. Feels the best in this column for almost every single PvP weapon. When we move on to the third column, there's two options. Personally, I really think that this first one in Threat Detector is the real only good one with hip fire grip. I'll go over it in a second, kind of being a little niche thing. So Threat Detector, you could read, the greatly increases the reload stability and handling when this is in close proximity with targets. So Crucible, that does get procced pretty easily. Very good on shotguns, things like this that you use in those close quarters. The other option I was thinking of is greatly increases the accuracy, stability, and precision hits while firing from the hip with that hip fire grip. So if you're sliding in there and you're just ADSing in and out, something like that, giving you a little bit better of that hip fire grip. Kind of a shotgun thing in my opinion, but definitely works on this SMG. Now, in the fourth column, I think there's really only one option unless you're being a little cheeky. You could go with Volt Shot if you wanted for that little fun in sixes, but if you want something for all 3 sixes, anything like that with trials, go with Swashbuckler in my opinion, so you get that increased damage for an improved duration from melee final blows as well as defeating targets with the weapon, so you can get a nice damage boost on this, especially pairing it with something like a Titan. You can get that Swashbuckler to keep going and just start mowing down enemies, so it is a pretty fun weapon for PvP. Give it probably a 4.2 out of 5 overall, but nothing too crazy in my opinion. Definitely better ones out there. The Unending, the Immortal, Shayira's Wrath, in the Void for energy SMGs, but very fun, very easy to craft this season. So as like I said, hopefully y'all can grab this. 5 red borders from a Riven over there in the helm, in that little ascendant realm that she's got going on with her ghostly form. So thank y'all again for that support. I appreciate all you guys, truly appreciate you guys, means a lot. Hopefully y'all can craft this. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.